Well, we are back again, and we're still upstairs here at the Main Street Randyland YouTube channel, the Randy's Collection series, the best stuff on earth. It's right here, and it's all mine. Mine, I say, because it's my life that you're seeing. I'm explaining the stories and the history of the dedication that went along with all this stuff. And recently I told the story of my very first vending machine. It was probably actually my second coin-operated machine, because it probably came right after my first pinball, which was Alpine Club, because it was pretty early on. But, you know, when I was young, we used to go roller skating and bowling and stuff like that. Not in the summer, because we were at the shore in the summer, but, you know, kids do stuff. My parents took us to activities. And one of the things that I liked, because I don't like coffee, I don't like tea, but hot chocolate wasn't too bad. So the roller rink and the bowling alley used to have a hot chocolate machine. And I always used to get a hot chocolate because it was usually, you know, winter time, late fall, cold. And, you know, I'd get soda too, but the hot chocolate was okay. So I had to get a hot chocolate machine. So here it is. It's my whipped chocolate, hot coffee also. It does coffee and chocolate. But, I mean, some of them did soup. Do we have soup option on this? No, we don't have soup. This is just coffee. You can select what you want here. Okay, you pick what you want, and then you put your money in. It was only 40 cents, so this had to have been not too late, because I remember doing it for like 20 cents. And if you wanted extra sugar or extra, you know, cream in your coffee, and it would drop the cup into the apparatus here. And then it would mix the liquid, and the liquid would fill the cup, and then it was done. And when it was done, you'd open the flap, and you'd take out your cup, and you would have your hot chocolate and your coffee. And these are pretty neat machines. Now, this one I acquired from a collector, and I never used this one, because by the time I got this, I already had bought a brand new one that I had in Lucky's Fascination in Seaside. And operating it, I realized how really, really hard it was to maintain this type of machine to show what I would call healthy and clean. Well, you know, when I was operating it, I was always cleaning it. And it had a bucket in the bottom that would catch the drain when stuff wouldn't go in the cup or people would spill it, it would go down a hose. That bucket was constantly filled with mold floating on the top of it from all this stuff that would drain down there. And it had a circulating dish with a whipping motor that, if it didn't get used a lot, would develop scum on it. And this is what's mixing your coffee and your hot chocolate, and mine also did soup. You know, and the bins were stainless steel, but I mean, the graduated, you know, turners that would, you know, push the powder out, those were plastic, and they would, you know, gather this stuff on there, and it was awful. It was really, I ran it for a couple seasons, and I was constantly cleaning it, and I said, you know what, I'm done with this. I was running it for 40 cents in the late 80s in Seaside Heights, and for what I was making on it, I was probably making a dime every time somebody got one. I was drinking most of it, and I was wasting all this stuff. So I didn't run it anymore. If you want hot chocolate, you buy your Swiss Miss or whatever it is, you know, your Family Value, and you rip the packet, you boil your water, and you stir it up, and you got your hot chocolate. But these whipped chocolate and hot chocolate and coffee machines were really cool when I was a kid. But you know what? Not something that I would want to buy today. Okay, because I don't think anybody is going there cleaning this thing all the time. And it's not like it's a vending machine with your cans of soda that it's sealed in the can and it's just going to dispense it. This is actually whipping it and making it. So, I mean, it's got to be clean. So, I mean, for me, it's a nostalgic piece. If I wanted to go through the fun of cleaning it and fixing it up, and, you know, I'd probably run it for a couple days, and that would be it. because I would not be cleaning this thing all the time just for a couple of hot chocolates and coffees I make. So this is another fun-filled episode and educational too. So the next time you see that hot drink machine and you're ready for a nice coffee, but you know what? Stop and think about it. It's not just the vending industry. You go to restaurants and they've got machines that are dispensing this stuff. Unless they're constantly doing a volume of business and they're constantly cleaning that stuff. I mean, if you go to, Sam's, roadside tavern someplace and he's got, they're doing very little business, you think they're throwing that stuff out? Come on. So, it's just, and even soda fountains. When you have fountain soda, it accumulates syrup scum in the head that blends it with the carbonated water. And you got to take those heads off. You got to clean them all the time. Well, most people aren't doing that. They're not having their kids doing that. They're not having somebody technical take it apart and clean it. So do you ever see when you get soda and there's like thick things floating in it sometimes? That's syrup scum that's coming from inside the head because they didn't clean the head and whatever. So you're not going to die from it, but just the idea of it, and a lot of times, flies will be attracted to the head of the soda fountain. They'll go up in there and, have a feast. And I don't know. Somehow or another, it's just not appealing to me. So this is the story. And I drink a lot of soda and water too, but you don't know what you're getting. Lord help us, if you really knew what you were eating and drinking, you'd never eat or drink in your life. So this is the story. So we have our illusion. We pop that soda can. We open that bottle. We pour it out. Oh my God, I think of the bottle. My sister told a story one time. Her best friend in junior high, Barbara Berger. I hope you're watching, Barbara. Do you remember this story? They went to a picnic, and she had a 2-liter bottle of Coke. Could have been anything, but it happened to have been Coke. And she opens a 2-liter bottle of Coke and she's pouring it out into cups, and it's not coming out of the bottle. And it's weird. Why isn't it coming out? So she's looking. There's a dead mouse inside the Coke bottle that must have crawled into the bottle before they put the water and the fluid in it and the soda, and it drowned, or was, it must have been live when it went in, and it drowned inside the bottle, and it blew up like a sponge from the soda, so now it wouldn't come out the hole, so she can't pour. How horrible is that? I didn't drink Coke for a year. It could have been Pepsi, it could have been anything, but it just happened to be Coke, and that story stuck in my mind after that. I couldn't drink soda anymore. It was awful. So what do you drink? I remember the time I got a can of Fanta Orange. You must remember this story because I told you. I got a can of Fanta Orange. It came from a farm store, and I poured it, this was at our shore house, into a white styrofoam cup, and in the orange was floating black things, and it was all dead ants floating in the orange soda. That was it. After that, I had to drink Sprite. Why Sprite or 7-Up? Because it was clear and you could see if there's anything floating in your soda. If it's a darker color, you might not know until it's too late. You may never know. You might just swallow it whole. And this is the story. How many bugs do we eat in our lifetime? I think the health department says that we're allowed to have a certain amount of insects that are ground up into our food, which is permissible because it's unavoidable on the things. The only other thing I remember as far as eating a bug is concerned was I was riding my bike in Ocean Beach, New Jersey, and a moth flew into my mouth while I was driving the bike, and it flew way back, and I was choking on it, and I swallowed it. I swallowed a moth. It was awful. And you know how they're chalky? It really is like that when it goes in you. It's like chalky. You constantly, I was coughing all night long, constantly trying to eat bread and stuff like that because I swallowed this moth, and all the chalky from the wings was in my throat. It was awful. So these are the fun memories that go along, and all this comes back to my memory simply by seeing my whipped chocolate machine here at Randyland. You see how fun things are, and memories are great. So now you have something to think about. And next time we'll see you, I know you'll be sitting there with your hot chocolate in hand. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.